Morning Libra. Now I know I have a lot of Librans on my channel, so hello to so many of you who I've already spoken to. Just a quick blurb, as I always do, about if you are a Libra and identify as Libra, it more than likely is your Libra sun. Now I know a lot of people write to me and say to me, I've checked out my birth chart and I've found this, that and the other, and I think it's really good to understand why it is all Libras aren't the same. We're all, quite different. So we often think, well, how can they be a Libra? They're like this and I'm like that. But it's because when you were born, Libra was not the only planet in your chart. So if you want to understand that more, you can Google a natal or birth chart. Cafe Astrology give you a written report, so you can actually print out the report. You will need to put in the details of your birth, for example, the date of birth and your birthplace. If you have your time of birth, then you can access your rising or your ascendant, but without that, your birth chart still works. So have a look at it and find out what planets were where you were in your chart when you were born, because you could be, a Capricorn moon, which means that Capricorn will resonate for you sometimes. So sometimes when you watch the reading, you think, oh, that's not my reading. But it could be in that particular scenario that your moon sign, your rising sign, or one of the other aspects of you is working for you. The other thing to look at is what range of planets you have. Like, for example, I'm a Capricorn sun, Libra moon. I have Scorpio on the ascendant, or a Scorpio rising, and I have Venus in Aquarius. So I can watch any of those I want to. It doesn't really matter. So sometimes I can watch an Aquarius reading and it will resonate with me really strongly. The other thing to look at is what range of planets you have. So I have a lot of fire in my chart, a lot of Sagittarius, for example. So that sort of sometimes comes across for me when I feel like, watching fire sign readings. So just have a look at that. It's really interesting to do. All right, we're using the Universal Celtic Tarot for your reading, Libra. Before we go any further, if you are interested in a personal reading with me, I am available via email at the moment. My website is down. Email theaussiegoddess@gmail.com, and I can send you a list of what I can provide until my website gets up and running. But I do think you can see what readings are available on my website. So, yeah, it's probably something I'm going to think about after Christmas. If you're interested in a membership with me, you can use the join button or the membership button below. I am aware that it's very hot at the moment and you need to drink lots of water, even though I have the air conditioning going somewhere up there. All right, let's get into this reading. Eight of Swords coming straight out. All right, so the Eight of Swords for me is like the victim mentality card. This is when you get into the energy of the poor me scenario. Why do these things happen to me? What have I done to deserve this? That type of energy. Now, it isn't the only form. We use that often as the form of victim mentality, but it's not the only thing that denotes a victim mentality. So I remember watching a really good video on this years ago, and really made me realize that even though I'd never seen myself as a victim, sometimes we can fall into that sort of spectrum. So when the Eight of Swords comes about, and in the traditional tarot, we see somebody tied up, bound, blindfolded in amongst a lot of swords. And it's quite clear that person can escape that. The cords are loose around them. They could easily take the blindfold off, and the swords are just sort of laying there. They're not really, or sort of stuck there. They're not really stopping the person from escaping. And because the swords represent our thinking, we are stuck in a way of thinking that really is inhibiting us when we could escape it. So we have the Eight of Pentacles coming through with the Three of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords. Somebody's doing something here. All right, you're making some sort of decision to walk away from something. I feel like here that Eight of Pentacles is representing some work you've been doing on yourself. There is a real need for you to consider your value here, because I feel like something, and it could be at work, but there is something here that's keeping you stuck in your head. But I'm feeling more like perhaps you've been either in a relationship or you've recently come out of a relationship where you are looking at the things that you think you could have done differently, which is great because that is all about healing. But it's almost like you're blaming yourself for everything. Now, I feel like you may have dealt with someone that may have done the wrong thing by you, but you are still questioning. Example. So you've had someone ghost you and you don't know why, because you've had no closure, you've had no explanation, things seem to be going really well, you were extremely happy, and all of a sudden this person's disappeared. I think most of us have had that situation. But what you start to do is you start to beat yourself up. Well, I could have done that differently. What did I say? How could I have done this? What was my fault in this? Like, if I only hadn't have said that, if I'd have only done that. No. The person has chosen to walk away from you because of their own insecurities. If they haven't told you why, then they're insecure and their self-esteem is low. If they had had a better sense of themselves, they would have said to you, this isn't working for me. But I can tell you most times when people pack up and walk away and don't let you know is because they feel you are too good for them. So the idea of thinking there is either they've started to have feelings and they weren't ready for those, or they were so insecure in a connection with you that it was easier to leave than to give it a go. I can get really deep into that, but sometimes when people have an attachment disorder, especially if they've got an attachment disorder where they find commitment really difficult and they start to have feelings for you, they are going to flee. Why? Because they're scared they might fall in love with you and you don't feel the same way back again. And that's scary for people. It's a real serious trust issue, and it comes from not having that stable love when you were a child. And a lot of people have it. So I feel like here you are sitting there trying to blame yourself. Now, I feel even in that situation, yes, you should always look at what your part in the relationship was. When none of us are blame free. But, speaking up for yourself, standing up for yourself, being honest about things, those are all the right way to go. And if you have someone that feels the same way about you, they will listen and you will work on that together. But if you've got someone who's got a really serious commitment phobic personality, they will be out the door before you can say anything. So I feel like here you're either dealing with somebody or you have left a relationship where you are still in this energy. Self-blame, self-victimization, pulling yourself apart, wondering what you could have done differently. Maybe some of those things you could look at, but don't get down in the depths with this energy because it's a two-way street. That's it. So whatever it is, even if someone has cheated on you, yes, you may still need to do some self-work. You may need to understand not so much what they did, that's their business, but how you cope and what ways you can cope better, because that's a difficult thing. So it's all about your own healing here. And I feel like that's where you're at. So let's keep going. All right, so you may have been dealing with a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, but it could be you. You could be taking up the sword here. You've got the Four of Pentacles next to it. There is a feeling of cutting free and letting go. So maybe you've been doing this and sort of grieving for too long here. Maybe it's time to let go of that grief and move forward. Because there is something here that says to me, you need to cut something loose. You're hanging on to the energy here. All right, so we have an Ace of Wands, lovely. And the Wheel of Fortune, very nice. Okay, so I feel like I'm talking to somebody who is right on the verge of moving forward. So you may have already done the grief and loss. You may have already, got yourself into this, the poor me sort of energy here. Maybe you've just got so preoccupied with this, you haven't been able to see the door out of it. But it's coming. You've got a brand new beginning here. And to me, the Wheel of Fortune is about to turn for you. So something is about to be shown to you that will help you move forward. All right, so we have the High Priestess. Trust your intuition. with the King of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. You know, there's nothing nicer than when you've come out of a relationship and you're feeling still in that sort of energy. It doesn't mean you want to jump into the next relationship, but it is lovely when somebody recognizes something about you, or you get offered a date, or someone shows interest in you. You may not be ready to take it on, but it feels good to feel like you still are connected. There is somebody here coming in with a love offer. I don't want to say it is the same person, because I feel like it may be somebody different, because we have this sort of energy of coldness and sort of, I want to say disinterest. Like somebody's already detached from you here, and then you've got somebody who really sees you as incredibly beautiful. Let's just keep going. Six of Cups. With the Fool card, definitely a brand new beginning coming through. Nine of Wands is coming through here. And you have the Strength card. I have to say to you, and the Empress is here too, I feel like you may have dealt with somebody that's shot through on you, absolutely. But it could be with that feeling like that somebody's been working on themselves, that you could be dealing with someone who's ready to take up, that they're just giving off a different energy and they're ready to take up that wand again. I do feel that this is a return or a revisit on something. So you may have been dealing with somebody who hopped out of the picture because they had something to deal with. So it could be that they were dealing with somebody from their past. So they could have gone back to somebody from their past, revisited something from their past, but now they're realizing what they did was they left you behind, and actually you were the one that seems to be right for them. So I feel like somehow or another this is, only because I've got the Nine of Wands with the Six of Cups, which really makes me feel somebody from your past is returning. But this person has changed because they're coming up as a fire sign, and they were cold with that sort of energy of, you know, the sword energy. So if this is somebody returning from your past, they're going to feel like they've discarded whatever it was that was holding them back, because there's definitely some sort of brand new beginning here. And with the Strength and the Empress card, especially with the High Priestess here, that makes me feel like this person has done a lot of healing. So whatever reason they left you for, if it was about them feeling that they weren't good enough or that they couldn't make that relationship work for whatever reason, I feel like they found a way around it. The Wheel of Fortune tells me there is something about to change here. There is something that this person has reconsidered, and I feel like they're ready to come back. They may be quite, I don't want to say different, because it's not like they're different. Maybe whatever the problem and issue was with them, that is what they've resolved. So it feels to me like if they had an issue, say, with an ex and they couldn't get over their ex, I feel like they've done that now. So they may have gone back to their past. But it may not be because of that. It could be that they had issues with trust and they've sought out a counsellor or talked to someone about it. But whatever it is, Libra, you look like you're getting a revisit from the past. I don't think this is a bad thing. I don't think this person was abusive or horrible to you. But I do feel here that they're going to make amends. Even if it's not carrying on the relationship, I feel like they want to at least make amends for what happened. It takes a lot of courage to come back if you've ghosted someone, I'm pretty sure. Oh, no. Ah, there it is. Shekinah. Card number 6. So if the number 6 resonates with you, and I've gone straight to the card both times today, so that's pretty interesting. The spiritual worlds want to help you resolve your worldly concerns. It is safe for you to rely on spirit as a loving, protective, helpful and practical presence, able to positively affect all areas of your life, including facilitating the resolution of physical problems. Do not limit your spirituality to concepts. Instead, apply your higher knowledge and principles, grow your wisdom and live your path. Acknowledge your value as a person, as a soul. Treasure the gift of your path and let your spirituality integrate with all facets of your life. So I feel like somehow or another, I'm just checking to see if there's anything else I need to talk our talk, to walk our talk. It says here, the oracle brings you an opportunity to apply your spiritual principles. You're encouraged to consider how you can live so that your inner beliefs and outer actions are in alignment. So I feel like somehow or another here, there is something that you've worked on or something you've got through. Maybe your person just wants to talk it through with you, so you have a greater understanding of why they maybe walked away from something. I'll leave you with that. Thanks, Libra.